I don't really qualify myself as disliking the Calgary Flames as I once did. And I mean that. Like right now they're playing against LA, and as soon as I grab this jersey to put it on, LA scored and tied the game at 1. No, I'm not taking the jersey off. Because there's something funny. And I've seen it in hockey games before. I've seen it many times in hockey. Fine, get over here. Nope, get over here. You want to be over, get over here. Just sit. Just stop bugging. You're not bugging me like last time. No, it's not happening. So, see, look, my hands are all stinky. Look, look, they're all stinky. So, now he's gone. So, I did a video not too long ago regarding Matt Tkachuk. And I get that Flames fans really like him. I get it. But he really is a young Alex Burrows. He's got better hands than Burrows. But I think the funniest thing that happened is when he dropped his gloves off the face-off at the start of this game, and the player skated right away from him. And then he goes, I've dropped my gloves, and goes to pick them up, and then a penalty is called for unsportsmanlike conduct. I know Calgary fans are going to be like, wait, that shouldn't have been a penalty. I could see that argument other than he dropped the gloves to fight. 25 seconds into the game. Now, something was said before this game. They showed Clifford and Engelland at center ice before the game. Something was being said between these teams before the game. And there's been a number of fights already as I'm taping this in the first. Bewilderingly, seeing Jerome McGinley fighting against Calgary Flames to me is still weird. That is, to me, unheard of. I still find that strange. Because to me, and I know he's played in Pittsburgh, I know he's played in Boston, I know he's played in Colorado, now he's in LA. To me, Iginla's a Flame. He's a Flame. So when I see Engelland fighting with him, and you could almost see Engelland like, oh, I didn't want to fight you. But he had Kopitar, so he had to fight somebody, and there's Iginla. I feel bad for Iginla, too, because odds are this is his last season. And, you know, he's showing a lot of toughness and a lot of moxie for a team that's going to miss the playoffs. The Kings right now are 11 points back. They cannot afford to lose a game the rest of the way, and they need all the teams in front of them to lose to make the playoffs. Well, they need St. Louis to lose all their games to make the playoffs. It's not going to happen. But they've shown some moxie tonight, and Trevor Lewis gets a goal in his 500th game. And there's good stories here if you're a Kings fan, and the Kings are not a lost cause. But the real storyline here to me is Matt Tkachuk. And I'm glad the Canucks didn't draft him. And I say that even though I'm the guy who... There's a draft reaction video that says quite something different. And I was right in that draft reaction video when I said Matt Tkachuk's NHL ready, and he's going to be a top 6 player, and he's going to be a big, tough scorer, and it's what the Canucks need. I didn't realize the amount of shit disturbing the guy does. And it's fun right now. So if you're a Flames fan, I do not expect you to agree with me on this. Not in the slightest. But I'm telling you, it's going to happen in a big game, and it could happen in the playoffs, where Matt Tkachuk's temperament costs you the game. Because I've watched Burrows do it. I watched Kessler do it as a Canuck. And players of that ilk. I've watched Marchand do it for the Bruins. When a guy plays that style, and he's goated easily by the opposing team, he's going to take penalties. He's going to take stupid penalties, sort of like dropping his gloves before making sure the other guy's going to drop his. I laughed really, really hard. I'm having a really hard week this week. And people on, there are currently 10 patrons on my Patreon account that know exactly what's going on this week. Nobody else needs to know. I don't want it to be public knowledge, but I'm having a rough week. But when I saw that, oh my God, that was so funny. So funny. Like, just, there's something about a guy off the face-off, dropping his gloves, and then, oh, I dropped my gloves, when he realizes the guy's not going to go with them. That is that is the best thing in hockey is knowing that whoever it was he was skating after, and I didn't pay attention, must have looked at him before the face-off. Yeah, let's go. And Tkachuk's like, yeah, I'm going to have a fight now. Yeah, I'm going to have a fight now. Uh-huh. Puck drops. Drop the gloves. Guy skates away. I seem to have dropped my gloves. Then when the referee blows the whistle and calls him out, he's like, what? What did I do? I just dropped my gloves on the ice. I don't know how they got down there. I think he knocked them off with his stick. I think he should get the penalty. Like, come on. And then he's goaded into a fight right after that. So, and he doesn't win the fight either. Like, there's something to be said for being a young player and very energetic, but you have to be controlled. You have to steer that in the right direction. And I don't know that Matt Tkachuk's got it steered in the right direction. I know he's a rookie. But a rookie in a prominent position in the playoffs can come back and bite you. Absolutely. So he's definitely, he's an emotional kid, and he's talented, and he plays on the edge. He's got to turn it down just a little bit. Because if he doesn't, it's going to bite him. And it's not a matter of what Doughty said. This isn't like Doughty's whole veterans need to take care of these rookies, any of that kind of talk. That's just stupid. There are plenty of veterans who don't respect each other either. Disrespect is not limited to rookies in the National Hockey League. Absolutely not. Disrespect is a league-wide problem. But Matt Tkachuk, from what I've seen in Calgary games, and tonight, really, they're in a position right now to clinch a playoff spot. They need Matt Tkachuk to take his temperament and just turn it down just a little bit. And take him from the guy who's dropping his gloves, getting ready for a fight, to being the kid who's the one saying, yeah, sure, I'll go. And then when the puck gets dropped, goes, you're not worth it, and skates away. Maybe you get a sucker punch. Maybe you get a hook or a slash for beaking off at the other team and they take a shot at you. That's the guy he needs to be. The player that Matt Tkachuk needs to be. Uh-oh, why is Johnny Gaudreau acting like he got slashed on the hands? Did he get slashed on the hand? Yep. That's the problem with chippy games like this. And now Calgary's got a power play, but man, they cannot afford to have Gaudreau with his hands getting slashed again. But again, that happens a million times in a game. And I'm watching this game tonight, and people are right. There's a lot of chippy play in this game. There's a lot of hooks and slashes and holds that are not being called. And I don't understand what hockey has become. And yet somehow, while nothing's being called, Matt Tkachuk's had 7 minutes in penalties in the first period. Matt Tkachuk got a penalty for dropping his gloves on the ice. Whereas hooks and slashes aren't being called very much. When you've got the reputation, and Tkachuk has that reputation, once you've been suspended, once you're seen as being a loose cannon and a young kid that needs to be brought in line, referees are going to watch you a little closer than they watch other people. And this is the Matt Tkachuk dilemma. The kid's special. I will say that for Calgary fans. I admit he has a lot of talent, and at some point in his career he could put up 30 goals, he could put up 60 points. He could be a very solid power forward in the NHL. But my God, he's got to get it under control. Because come playoff time, and right now if the playoffs started today, they're playing Anaheim. I'm telling you, Anaheim's going to bait that kid every single chance they get. And they'll do it. They'll bait him every single time. You got to get this under control. But I'd really be interested to hear Calgary Flames fans' opinion on this. Because again, I'm not saying the kid doesn't have talent. I'm not trying to shit talk the kid either. I'm just watching him dropping the gloves off the opening face-off, basically, 20 seconds into the game, getting a penalty for something stupid. And then he's in a fight shortly after that. He doesn't win it, and he's smiling in the penalty box, and it's like, clearly his emotions are ratcheted up, and the potential is always there when a guy does that to do something stupid and get thrown out of a game. One extreme example would be Raffi Torres. Raffi Torres was not a bad player. He wasn't. His 2 seasons in Vancouver, he wasn't a bad player. But he took penalties at bad times, and he always played on the edge, and eventually he'd go over it. And he'd always go over it at the stupidest time. And Tkachuk has that same potential. He's a much more talented player than Torres. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying his temperament reminds me of a Raffi Torres. And Raffi Torres is remembered by fans everywhere for the fact that he was a cheap player and all this. He was not a cheap player early in his career. And Raffi Torres, that came along later. Tkachuk needs to be steered in the right direction right now. He needs the right coaching right now. Because the emotions he's displaying tonight are of a kid, an exuberant kid, who's playing against a team he hates. Well, in the playoffs, you're going to hate the team you're playing. You need to be able to keep your emotions in check. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And again, I'm not trying to talk shit about Tkachuk. I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing. And if he is going to become the player that he could be, and he's got a lot of talent, got to get those emotions in check. You know, and I'm not saying he can't have fun out there. Absolutely not. Sort of like Happy Gilmore. You don't get better until you just control it just a little bit. Just a little bit. And we'll see what happens with him from here. But I will be very interested to watch Calgary in the playoffs and see what happens. Especially if they're against an Anaheim. Because Anaheim knows how to play that game much better than Tkachuk. Anaheim is a team that will make you very, very angry. Very, very quickly. There's a reason that they're my 30th favorite team out of 30 teams. Oh, Bishop's in net. Well, I guess LA doesn't need to win. Yes, that's not important. Anyways, I had assumed Quick was in net, and I just saw it was Bishop. Anyways, again, let me know what you guys think, especially Calgary fans. Because again, all it takes is that one kid that just goes over the edge, and then you're done in the playoffs. And I think with Brian Elliott and Gaudreau and Monahan and some of these players that Calgary has, and that blue line they've put together, I think Calgary could actually get through the first round. And I really think both Alberta teams are in a position to really build something special here. And this kid could derail things for Calgary. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all again soon.